If you're doing a bathroom restoration, I'm going to go over some quick things, especially if you're a beginner, you're going to want to see this. It might give you some nice tips and tricks. Okay, I'll go over the shower pan first. Just some quick things. It's not going to be 100% detail on everything. I'm just going to try to explain things to you so you can cut corners or just learn little simple things that people don't think about while building. Okay, I'm building my own shower pan here. A pre-pitch shower pitch. So a lot of people who watch a lot of videos on YouTube, especially if you're a first timer, know nothing about quick pitch or pre-pitch and they'll think they're one of the same. Okay, you got your pre-pitch sticks that I got off eBay, paid about 30 bucks, came straight to my house. HomeDepot.com also sells them. When I say pre-pitch, set of sticks goes down first. Some people use tar paper on the floor, some people don't use anything. I'm using backer board. I probably won't use the tar paper. This is what pre-pitch setup looks like right here. Okay, these sticks are a lot thinner than quick pitch. These ones also come with screws where you can screw them down and put them in place in that star pattern. And make sure you always use mortar when filling in your shower pan. Okay, this actually goes in between your PVC. Your first setup would be this thing. So when you set all the stars down, there was a guy who used regular cement. You can't do that. This is one thing people don't think about is shower pans, just because they look like cement doesn't mean they're waterproof. They all absorb water. So you need to do this correctly, especially if you're trying this by yourself for the first time. You're gonna wanna watch a lot of videos, ask a lot of questions. Okay, anyways, pre-pitch, set that up and you put your shower mortar down. It's, I believe, 1 part cement, 4 parts sand. If you talk to somebody at your local hardware store, they'll set you up with the right stuff. Just make sure it's not 100% Quikrete cement. You'll be running into a lot of problems. Once you set this up, your next layer goes your shower pan, and make sure that it goes up and high. Remember never to puncture your shower pan. Okay, you're not supposed to ever put any holes in it. So when you set that up, this is just, all this is right here is support for the rubber shower pan when it goes up. Never cut your shower pan on the inside here. You're gonna want it to go all the way up. When you come to your corners, some people make the big mistake and they cut the shower pan on the corners. All you do is fold it into right here. If you want to get real crafty so you don't see the tiny little bump that you might notice if you put this together yourself, you can get, these are great for cutting into wood. What I mean by using the oscillating tool is if when you fold that corner, you'll have a little like triangle, almost like the shape of an upside down triangle, and you can shave that down so that goes into there. And once you get your shower pan down, next you're going to use your quick pitch. Quick pitch sticks are a lot thicker on one end and go down just slightly, but they're a lot different than pre-pitch. This is your first setup, that's your second. Same concept. You put the star pattern down. Make sure to watch a video on it just to make sure, because some people use a weep hole protector and some people throw a lot of little pebble stones up under here so that your weep holes don't get blocked. These are your weep holes over here. Like I told you guys that just because you put mortar down does not mean that it's 100% waterproof. You must use a shower pan liner, so that when you got your shower pan liner that goes in between here, even though there's what looks like mortar over here, it drains down and sometimes it goes underneath the mortar. But with this pre-pitch and quick pitch setup, it will always find its way down because of the angle that it's made for the water to drain. Old drain and measuring it with your drain flange, made for showers that we're doing here. I used a tool that went straight inside of the old pipe, and it had what looked like a circular saw blade, and I cut it from the inside. I'm gonna have to mount this together, and what I'm gonna use is this in the center, and imagine a pipe right here on this end and a pipe on that end, but a really short one. So I'm actually gonna, I'm gonna push this on here and use my rubber cement and purple primer. Make sure to use the purple primer on the inside. Some people think that purple primer just goes on the outside after you use your glue on the inside. So it's primer first, put the glue in there after, maybe about 30 seconds, and then stick them together. To look at your diagram for your new shower door and make sure that your is built, and always use a level, because this is going to be your best friend when doing your shower. Believe it or not, my house is only 10 years old and I had a bunch of wavy areas in here. I got a 5-pound bucket of mortar that I spread out under there, then placed the backer board down, screwed down most of the screws, took my level and got it to where I wanted it, let it dry. I actually made a big hole here so it can breathe and dry up pretty good. It was dry over there. And get you one of those right there, like a 3 or 4 foot meter ruler, and I cut out perfect lines. And like I said, always use a level and measure distance from the wall, make sure it looks right, draw it on the wall, and step back and make sure you're happy with it. Because if you start seeing it come down at an angle, you're not gonna lights off eBay. You can find them on Home Depot and whatnot. The reason I went with deck lights is because there'll be moisture in the bathroom. I cut these out first, and then I inserted a transformer in my light right here, connected it, powered for positive and negative, so now I have power with my LEDs. And those LEDs run through the wall. I have the transformer hidden there, wires going down all the way around, up into there, and up and around right here, and I'm gonna build another shelf. My shower, I'm actually having a longer shower. It was a 36 by 36, I believe, and I'm going 48 by 36, so it's gonna be much longer this way. So the concept of me coming into the shower and having a longer shower, I want that shooting down this way. So what I'm gonna do is cut that pipe. I have a long pipe in the garage, and we're gonna move everything over with a couple elbows and go into there and come around and have the water shoot here for about 70 bucks. Got that at Lowe's. It does 3 types of different sprays. It looks huge, it looks cool. Waterfall and glass. Looks like toilet paper almost. Guy recommended this on YouTube. I liked what I saw. Paid about 15 bucks, shipped to my house. And you're gonna use it with your Red Guard. Watch some videos on YouTube with that. Red Guard is great. You're gonna wanna see videos with Red Guard when you're using your shower pan, because once you got 2 layers of Red Guard, it's supposed to be guaranteed that you will never get a leak. You could put it over drywall and put 2 coats of Red Guard and use that as your shower. But most people wouldn't recommend that. I mean, it's nothing I'm gonna do, but I've seen many people talk about that, even people at the shower. They guarantee their Red Guard, the company does, that it's going to hold up against any water leak point. You always leave a 1/2 inch gap raised up so that the small tiles, because you're not gonna use giant tiles on the floor or you won't get that effect that goes down into the drain with the, what do you call them? Pre-pitched sticks and whatnot. So you're gonna wanna use little tiles on your shower floor. Something people don't think about. Also, your shower curb, make sure you have a slight angle on it so when water hits it, it always drains downward. Same thing if I'm gonna build a shelf up there, you always want that water dropping down with gravity. Just my shower was a lot longer than my previous shower, I had to build a wall and come out. And again, this video is just about showing you different things you may run into when trying to restore your shower. When I had backer board and little tiles all stuck together all over this floor, it was hell trying to, maybe it took me like 3 hours to break a little tiny section. And I found out with a giant crowbar and a shovel, and I slowly banged the crowbar under the backer board, I was able to take out big sections by just slowly lifting it up instead of chiseling away tiny chunks at a time. That's a great tip for you guys if you're knocking out the tile and backer board from your bathroom. Drywall. I'm just gonna go over this real quickly. If you have a empty area like right here, I had a bathtub, took the bathtub out and you got an empty area. If you don't know how to do drywall, what you do is go get a bigger piece of drywall, take measurements up and down and mark them on your drywall and place the sheet up against there. Always make sure you have support behind your drywall. I'll show you for example. You always want to go in between the stud. Make sure it's on a stud. So when I place this other piece of drywall here, I gotta have support back here. I'll probably cut this down right in the center so that way I can put drywall screws on both sides. So it's always got support. Also, fiberglass. This is what you're gonna wanna use if you're a new drywaller, anywhere where there's a seam or a crack. This tape is actually like lightly sticky on one side. You just layer this over your crack or seam and then you scrub your drywall on. If you're a beginner at drywall, the process is a process. Just to give you an example, where I have a seam right here, This is probably my third or second layer that I've done. I put the drywall mesh down on the seam because I had two separate pieces when I connected them. Probably a little gap like that in between. And then you spread your drywall compound on real smoothly. Let it dry for 2 days. Come back, do it again. Hit it with some sanding and then do it again. Spread the drywall down. It's a process. You do it about 3-4 times or until you like what you see. This is probably the fourth layer. You can see it's a little bit of a rough layer still. So when I hit it with sandpaper and smooth it all out, and then you take your drywall compound here, you just spread it over it, and you keep doing the process where you sand, spread, and before you know it, you got a perfect wall. This is the drywall compound I'm using, got a green cap. It actually sands and dries a lot harder. If you're a beginner, I'd probably recommend the light blue cap, where it's a lot easier to work with and easier to sand. Removing toilets. All right, you unscrew the 2 screws left and right, and always make sure you get a new ring. You don't want leaking, especially with what's going down there. The reason you see a bag in here in my other drain is because I'm working and you don't want dirt going up in there, because by the time you get your toilet on, there'll be so much dirt in there, it's not gonna float. The reason you see backer board and 1,000 screws everywhere is because I'm gonna be tiling this floor, spending $2,000–3,000 on this floor. I'm not gonna wait for it to shift and crack, and this makes it a lot more solid of a surface, so that way when you put your tiles down, you're not cracking your tiles all over the place. And I'm telling you, I've known people who put in tiles all over the floor and they decided not to go with backer board and not to support it. A little bit of shifting after time, you start getting cracks in between your grout line and sometimes even your tiles. Moving that light right there, and what I'm gonna do is connect the 2 wires, go up inside of the wall, climb in the attic from the other side of the room, and I'm gonna drop down some hanging lights, maybe about 3 of them, right over the vanity. That's about the only thing I'm gonna keep in here from the previous bathroom. And I'll have more room over there to put more things in. These lights actually go up into the ceiling when this is all complete. I've connected them that way, so pretty cool, something to think about if you want to put shelving in your bathroom. But I have to tell you guys one more time before we end the video with all the tips I've given you, make sure you get you a level and measure everything you build. Whether you're just taking up the old shower and leveling the floor, put that level down like that all over the place. And if your stuff's not accurate and centered right in the middle, you know, you could fix that by lifting this up a little, just a hair, put an extra, there's a liquid leveler they actually make if you want to use that. I just used mortar. I didn't have some major damage, but if you got a lot of shifting, don't start your project until everything is level. And I mean checking leveling floors, leveling showers, especially in this area where you're building your shower, because it's going to show later and every defect will show, and you don't want to do that. You can't go back and fix it unless you start the whole project over. It's one thing if you're not going to level over here where you're not going to have anything other than just a little bit of tile, maybe a vanity, something like that. But when you get to your shower, your glass shower door, if you're off just a hair in my wall right here that I've put up, if I didn't level this where it was perfectly straight, my shower door would come in and have a big gap probably at the top like that. So again, use a level as much as you can wherever you build, especially in that area. Won't be that important in the toilet area if it's off by like a ½ an inch even. You're probably not going to notice it, or maybe a ¼ of an inch. You probably notice a ½ inch, but building the shower, use a level. If you're building a shower curb and it's bigger or smaller than your previous shower curb, you're going to want to make sure you have support before you put up your backer board up here. What I mean by support is you're going to want to run a 2x4 up and down so that when you put your glass shower door or your new shower door, you have something to screw into for support. So just make sure that you run a 2x4 going up and down where you're going to have your support beam. When you unscrew your sink or your vanity, your old vanity, usually these don't hold up pretty good, so you have them, you try to shut them off and you got leaking, you're not going to be able to work months and months. Measure the size, take it to the hardware store, and get you a little cap. What I bought was like a 90-cent cap. I actually had 3 of them that were leaking. How are you supposed to work when you got leaking going on? So just a little quick tip that is something that's available. So that's about it. I hope this video helps you out with one tip or another when you're restoring your bathroom. So Thanks for watching, and if you could, give me a thumbs up. That's all I ask. Thanks for watching.